And welcome to Flamecast. I am Todd Pletz.
And this is Travis Buckmeyer.
And this time we've got a special guest. Da-da-da. Our one and only winner. Well, I guess. Of the Hot Word of the Month
We've had two
contest.
winners, but...
Well, yeah. But the more important winner. The winner of winners. Mike Scheff.
Woohoo!
Say hi, Mike.
Hello, this is Mike Scheff.
All right. This is actually going to be our Halloween edition of Flamecast.
Ooh,
So,
spooky.
Yeah, it's starting out scary already, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, if you haven't noticed, on Action Traction, I've actually had a Halloween theme through this month. So, if you haven't seen, go out and check out those pictures and captions.
Yeah, I'll have to. I wasn't actually following the theme, so I'll have to go back and relook at that.
Oh, well, you have failed this podcast.
Yeah, well, I can only work with what I'm given.
Hey, man. Well, what I thought we'd do this time, we'll go one by one and kind of discuss these, but I've asked the others to pick out their 3 favorite horror films. And since Mike is our guest, we'll start with you, Mike.
Okay.
Give us one movie, and we'll discuss.
Well, my first one is Dracula Dead and Loving It by Mel Brooks.
Oh, Count Dracula! Just talking about you. Favorably, of course.
Forgive my interruption, but I was just made aware of the unfortunate passing of Miss Lucy. I wish to offer my condolences.
Thank you. We're all very distraught.
Yes. Oh, Count Dracula, allow me to introduce Professor Abraham Van Helsing of London University. He is a doctor of rare diseases as well as theology and philosophy.
And gynecology.
Oh, I didn't know you had your hand in that, too.
This is the one with, what's his name?
Leslie Nielsen?
Yes, there we go. See,
Like
Travis
Gun?
never helps on names when I come into like a mind block.
Well, you know, letting you deal with it.
Yeah, this is one movie that I can say I haven't seen the whole thing through.
Oh.
Well, actually, there's a lot of movies like that, but so tell us what draws you to that movie. You know, the humor of it.
Yes.
Is there any scary parts in it, or is it just mostly humor?
It's mostly humor. There's scary parts, but I think...
Oh, guest voice in the background.
Yeah, that would be my son. He's laughing at a cartoon.
All right.
But Dracula Dead and Loving It, yes. Leslie Nielsen is really good in it. Mel Brooks, of course. If you like Robin Hood Men in Tights, it's the same type of movie. There's one scene in there I really loved. It's one of my favorites. Is where the Dracula's dancing with his girl, and it's in a ballroom. And there's a big mirror in the background, and Leslie Nielsen doesn't know it's there. So he's like dancing with the girl, and everybody's watching, and you only can see the girl in the mirror because vampires don't give off the reflections. And he's like just going to town. This is funny. Yeah, just the humor of it is what I like about that one the best.
Alrighty. Travis, you have anything have you seen this movie, Travis?
If I've seen it, it's been a long time, because I remember the mirror sequence, but it's been a long time.
Well, it's maybe one that... I don't know, Netflix has a bunch of movies that are kind of for the season that they've put on recently, so maybe that one's out there. Might want to check it out. Alright, we'll just rotate through here, so... Travis, how about you next?
Oh, we're just starting with Jaws.
Jaws. All right.
You may want to go to the ocean and hang out? No, I don't think so.
See, that was one thing. Growing up here in Minnesota, I didn't really have any fear of Jaws because we're nowhere near an ocean. So I'm like, yeah, we're pretty safe. Even though, I mean, I hated swimming in lakes, so it's like whenever we went to... someplace away from home, it was always in a hotel, You don't have to worry about sharks in swimming pools. So.
One would hope not, but you never know.
Yeah. There's of course all the sequels, but they don't really count.
No, I mean, 2 was interesting, and I mean, it was along that same lines. After that, it went completely off the rails. But, you start with number 1, you start with that opening sequence, and right there it says, swimming in the ocean? I think not.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, this was a Steven Spielberg movie.
Why, yes, it was.
With the score done by John Williams.
Again, another quality performance.
Yeah. It's like, you sign up John Williams, you can't go wrong.
I think that's a good play on a movie. If you really want to get the mood set, get Mr. Williams to help you out.
Yep. Of course, there's been so many parodies and such of Jaws, but one I'm thinking of right now was in Chasing Amy, where they had a discussion in a gay bar, which was set up to be just like the discussion in the boat cabin with the 3 characters. And kind of, they're comparing, what was it? I think they were comparing, like, injuries and such that they've had in the past. And in Chasing Amy, they kind of do the same thing, except it's of a different nature, we'll say. But, yeah, excellent choice for Jaws. I guess I'll go next.
What do you got, Tom?
You would be next in line.
Unless there's someone else here. No. Okay. This one is... I saw this one on IFC like years ago. And I don't know how to describe it other than... It's like a behind-the-scenes movie about another movie. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about...
Nope, no clue.
Yeah.
Mike,
this one is called Shadow of the Vampire. And it's a take on... It's the recording of the movie Nosferatu. Back in... what was it, 1920s, I believe. And you've got John Malkovich, who plays the director of the movie and writer. You've got Willem Dafoe, who plays the vampire. And the thing is, in the Shadows of the Vampire movie, the guy that they get to play the vampire for Nosferatu, just to go for realism, John Malkovich's character goes and hires an actual vampire for the realism. And they kind of have some problems because of that, we'll say. But it's a very interesting movie. Excellent acting. That one... Actually, I didn't realize this until recently, but it was actually produced by Nicolas Cage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
right, that might be worth checking out.
I think it came out in 2000, so 15 years old, but I mean, the thing holds up. It's a very good movie. You might want to check that one out.
All right. Good addition.
Alrighty. And we go back to Mike. Give us a second movie.
Second movie. I pondered upon this a lot, but the second one I decided to go with Lawnmower Man.
This universe is mine. I am God here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day. I forgot that. I didn't really realize this, but Pierce Bronson was the scientist in that one.
Right.
Yep.
I forgot about that in a long time. But the movie was based about a gardener person that was mentally kind of slow. So they're giving them this military, drug, or I can't remember, his video thing that make him smarter.
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up being making them go kind of real smart into godlike status. It was kind of scary. I remember from the day. I liked it. It was one of my favorite movies in that time.
Yeah, because I believe he was like just disintegrating people at will. I mean, messing with their minds and whatnot. Right. Yeah, that was actually...
At the end of the film, he's trying to become like a god, and I think the other guy, Pierce Brosnan, tried stopping him, but he was trying to go through all the phone lines, and all the phones ring at once at the end of the movie. Interesting.
Yeah, they kind of set it up for a sequel, and I think they did make a sequel.
Yep, they did make a sequel, yes, but I never saw it.
Yeah, I admit to having seen the sequel, and I could have done without that.
Wasn't that good?
I feel sorry for you, Travis.
If you rate the original one on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say you put it in at an 8, the sequel would have been a 1.
Oh boy.
It was just, I mean, it was not a well done movie. Not, the first one was very provocative and made you really think about what, technological advances could do for people and whatnot, but the second one was just, I don't know what that was.
Yeah. I didn't see this movie until, I believe it came out on video. It was like the, mid, early 90s, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And I ended up watching it at home by myself. I think Rachel's gone for the weekend, so I'm just like, let's get some scary movies and try to scare myself.
Yeah,
and I found myself more intrigued by the movie rather than scared, but it was actually still a decent movie.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this was a Stephen King written movie, right? Can't go wrong with Stephen King, man.
Ooh.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
All right. Travis, what do you got?
Oh, everybody's going to enjoy this one. Gremlins.
Oh.
Not Gremlins 2. Gremlins.
Right. You got to make the distinction.
I mean, the movie had part comedy, part, wow, that's kind of, creepy as all get out. And then parts are just like, people are so stupid. Which is one of my challenges with so many horror movies, is that the basic thing, don't feed him after midnight. Okay, cool. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't soak him in water. Pretty easy. Don't do that. And yet, we all know that's what leads to the problems.
But there are a few things to keep in mind. If you expose it to the light, you may hurt it. If you get it wet, it will multiply.
All that from water? They got wet?
Yeah, plain water.
And most important, no matter how much they beg, never let them eat after midnight. Because when they do, they change.
But after those offspring kind of came out of Gizmo, I mean they were little sneaky bastards, so
yeah.
True.
They kind of brought it on themselves, to advance the terror.
Didn't they microwave one of their own? If I remember correctly.
Or was it the lady that trapped one in the microwave and blew them up?
Yeah, so the girl got one of them in the microwave and blew them up, but
that's what it was.
I think it was the second one where they did it to themselves a lot more.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't recall much from the second one. I think I watched it in the theater, actually, and that's probably the only time I've seen it.
Yeah.
I gotta say, the one low point in that movie, or I don't know if you call it a low point, a confusing point, is when Phoebe Cates is explaining to Billy about what happened to her father.
It was Christmas Eve. I was 9 years old. Me and Mom were decorating the tree, waiting for Dad to come home from work. A couple hours went by. Dad wasn't home. Mom called the office. No answer. Christmas Day came and went, and still nothing. So the police began a search. 4 or 5 days went by. Neither one of us could eat or sleep. Everything was falling apart. It was snowing outside. The house was freezing, so I went to try to light up the fire. And that's when I noticed the smell. Firemen came and broke through the chimney top. And me and Mom were expecting them to pull out a dead cat or a bird. And instead, they pulled out my father.
are you supposed to feel sad or are you supposed to be laughing?
I think that was that way through a lot of that movie. Sad, scared, chuckling. I mean, it was an interesting mix, but in the end, the creepy little creatures coming at you with knives and stuff qualifies to me as a scary movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a decent movie. I saw that one in the theater as well. So, of course, this is another Stephen King movie. Or not Stephen King.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg is the one I meant to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Spielberg just had it going in the 80s, man. He's just rattling off hits like no one could, you know.
And now he just sits behind the scenes and produces them, and then when they flop, he just hides.
Yeah.
Better system.
There you go. All right.
All right, Todd, you're up.
Okay, well, I had to go with this one. I could have chose the second one, or the third one, or the fourth one, but I chose the original, The Evil Dead.
Groovy.
Ooh.
Of course, this one you've got Bruce Campbell as Ash, and written and directed by Sam Raimi. 1982. Can you believe it's that old?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've got this one, of course, on DVD. I've been meaning to get the second one. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But, of course, I've got Army of Darkness, which is the third part of that.
Oh, yeah.
Which was almost going to be one of my picks, but I'm like, let's go with the original. Because the original is actually... I mean, it's more scary than humorous. As the movies went on, it got to be more humorous.
Mm-hmm.
But, the first one just had that feeling of terror. And...
Yeah, I don't know if I've actually seen the first one. If I did, I've only seen part of it. But I do remember there being a distinct, more, scary feel to that.
Oh, yeah. And of course, how many years later, 33 years later, they're doing Ash versus Evil Dead. Unfortunately, it's on Stars, but I'm sure I'll be able to find it somewhere.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Because I'm not paying for Stars just for one program. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But let's head over to Mike then for your third choice.
Yeah, my third choice was very, very hard to pick, but I think I'll stick with it. Going with Underworld.
The war itself had become more perilous. The weapons had evolved. But our orders remained the same. Hunt them down and kill them off, one by one.
The first one?
Underworld.
This is the vampires versus the werewolves.
Oh, yeah.
That was a very thrilling, but horror. I mean, it's got some gore in it, too, but it's a very good movie. Very well done, I thought.
I like that one. Can't say as much about the sequels, but yes, I did like that first one.
Yeah, I've never actually seen any of them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you have to see that. It's really good.
I'm going to have to mark that down on my list.
Watch that one. That'd be a good one for you.
Okay.
It's a different take on, the whole, genre of it. It's like a lot of people are vampires and werewolves and, and you have the fight, but it's pretty down and dirty.
Sounds interesting. I'll have to check that one out. Anyone know if it's on Netflix?
It used to be.
Okay, well, maybe there's a chance then. Maybe I'll get to check that one out. All right, Travis?
All right, for my last one, the best zombie movie, The Dawn of the Dead from 2004.
Vivian,
Honey, are you okay?
Which introduced the speedy zombies.
Speedy zombies. That's just wrong.
Well, I mean, if you think about up to then, at least to the best of my recollection, if you had zombies, they were the lumbering, coming at you, whereas in this one, they were sprinting. And if they're coming after you, I mean, they're going to catch you because they're sprinting and they don't stop.
If they're undead and they're sprinting, where do they get all that energy from?
The undead juice.
Brains.
But that was the one where, I mean, just based on that whole aspect of suddenly you have super fast zombies, I think that changed how you looked at that. And like, if there was a zombie outbreak and they were super fast like that, then you'd be super screwed.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Have we seen running zombies before in any movies?
That's what I was trying to remember, and I think there might have been one other, but I don't know if it was as successful, in the theater per se as like revenue it generated and whatnot. There might have been one more, but I think that was the start of the high speed. Call them the high speed zombies.
Locked up on caffeine.
Hopped up on something, man. 'Cause they were moving.
Yeah.
Trying to think if we had running zombies in World War Z.
Yes.
Okay.
World War Z had the running zombies. Oh god, what was the one with Woody Harrelson?
Oh shoot.
Zombieland?
Yeah.
Yep, so Zombieland had similar. They were running but not sprinting.
Well, if we're going to make a distinction.
Well, honestly, if you actually compared the two, the Zombieland ones, I mean, the one kid outran him by circling his car, whereas in the Dawn of the Dead ones, they just went over the car after you.
I guess they got to learn.
Yep.
All right. I can't say that I've seen that one either.
Oh, you should give that a try sometime, like at night when you're home alone. That'll make you feel better.
All right.
Especially since you have kids, because they bar no one in that.
See, that's the thing with my kids, man. I mean, Savannah, she'll get scared about stuff, but Shelby, it's kind of hard to phase.
No, I'm talking about the fact that in the movie,
oh yeah,
you'll have a newfound respect for your kids if they're suddenly feeling sick.
Oh. Well, I was going to say, though, with scary movies, watching them with Sean is kind of pointless because all he does is laugh at the stuff. He does not get fazed by any scary movies. It's like I tried to show him the original Poltergeist one night. We all sat down and watched it, and Rachel and him just laughed the whole time. I'm like, damn it, this is a classic scary movie. Come on.
Yeah, that scared me when I was young.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Scared.
man. Kids these days.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of classic stuff, that's where I went to with my third movie. I had to go with a classic, the Amityville Horror.
Yes, Jesus loves me, the Bible.
Who are you singing to, Princess?
You scared Jody.
Jody? There's no one here, see?
You scared her. She went out the window.
She went out the window?
Well, I better check and make sure she's not still there, huh?
Ooh.
From 1979? 1979. Of course, you had this one based off a book, which supposedly was supposed to be a true story. But, I mean, anyone can look it up nowadays on the web and find out the story behind it, where the author and the owner of the house kind of had a deal going where, like, yeah, write up a good story, and these are the points to put in there, and kind of go overboard with it, and we'll make some money together. And that's kind of what they did, and they had kind of everyone fooled.
Unless the evil entity overtook their spirits and made them do those things. I'm just saying.
All right, then. Going from our horror picks to, let's go to movie news.
Is there any movie news, Todd? Is there anything exciting that's happening out there in movie land?
Oh, maybe. Of course, we had some kind of new trailer came out this past week.
Really?
Yeah, anyone see that?
For a new movie that might be coming out soon?
Oh, maybe.
Time or 15, 20? Or...
Yeah. And would they have possibly shown this trailer on a halftime on a Monday night football game just to throw all the nerds into a tizzy?
Oh, they might have. Yeah, how do you get a bunch of nerds to watch a football game? Let's throw a trailer for Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yay. It was funny, I saw the numbers. They were saying that normally for a Monday night they have about 12 million viewers, and then for this one they had over 15 million.
For about 15 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out that my DirecTV, my 2-year contract was up, so I'm like, I'm going to drop to like the basic service. And I ended up doing it like the day before. And then later in the day, I found out, tomorrow there's going to be a trailer on ESPN. I'm like, now I don't get ESPN. Damn it.
Over the internet anyway.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm like, it'll be out there. I'll be able to watch it. So yeah, there's some speculation going on there.
There's always speculation. Some of it's more nutty than others, but
yeah, most of it is centered around Luke.
Yes, because the movie poster, you haven't seen him other than what appears to be his hand on R2 in any of the trailers.
Yeah, so is he going to die, or is he evil, or both?
So, since I generally have a lot of information on stuff like that because I have free time, so the basic thing of him dying is not happening because he's actually filming for episode 8. And apparently he's filming a lot.
Yeah, I do recall that now. Yeah.
Yes, so the assumption there would be that he does not die in 7. As for him being evil, the latest rumor was that maybe he's actually Kylo Ren, but they've actually already specifically said that Adam Driver is that character.
Yeah.
So what it resorts to is, if you go by any of the online speculation that has leaked out, is that Luke is in, I don't know if you want not necessarily say exile, but he's guarding something and being a recluse, in which case most people don't know where he really is at. And that's why they haven't been making him a prominent part. So the anticipation is that he will show up at the very near end of the movie.
So it'll kind of be like Star Wars 7, The Search for Luke.
Kind of. Well, that's part of the speculation, because as you see, they find the lightsaber that was originally owned by Anakin Skywalker and passed down to Luke, and then he lost it when he got his hand cut off in Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
So then the question becomes is who and how did they find that lightsaber? And then the question becomes, how do you get it back to who it should belong to?
Yeah. Who, what, where, and why.
Yep.
Yeah, so I believe there's a website out there with a countdown.
There's a few.
Yeah. I had a link to it earlier, and I kind of lost it at some point, but I'm sure if I do a Google search, you can find one out there. Anyway, so you were saying.
No, I'm just saying that there's a lot of that speculation and just a lot of details, and I don't want to do a lot of spoilers for folks. I will say this: that if you did look at the latest trailer, what was most amazing is you looked at a lot of the special effects for the battle sequences that they have there with the X-Wings and TIE fighters, and the fact of how great that looked, because they're using, if you want to call it, practical effects on that stuff. So using models and whatnot. They didn't go totally CGI on this thing.
Yeah.
How about the new super weapon they have? A glimpse of the big red beam flying by.
Well, okay, so if you look at that, because you're talking about like what they showed in the poster, Mike.
Well, there was something in the trailer too. You've seen Kylo Ren looking out the window, and you've seen this big red beam flying by. It's supposed to destroy solar systems or something, or is it supposed to do like weather climate? I don't know.
So the two things that you see that they've shown. The first one is if you look at the movie poster in the back right-hand side, you see what looks to be a giant Death Star type thing.
Ball of Doom.
Yep. Now, if you go back to the trailer and you look at the sequence where the X-Wings are flying over top of the icy planet and shooting down TIE fighters and whatnot, if you actually look close at the ground, you see a big trench. So the presumption is that the planet has been converted into a Death Star type weapon.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep. Yeah. And they call it Star Killer Base.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the premise so far, is that the First Order has somehow used Death Star technology and converted a planet into a weapon. Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see. Well, I think, again, just from what you see on there, and the fact that the one of the new actors, John Boyega, and I follow him on Twitter now, because number one, he is hilarious, and he is so enthused about stuff that's going on with this that I really believe that they've put together a great film.
Yeah, from all accounts, it's going to be really good. How many times are you going to go on opening weekend?
So I already have my tickets for the 17th.
Okay.
I bought extras. And then from there, I'm just going to play it by ear, because I did take the day off, so I can go back during the daytime, and I'll just probably grab seats as I can, if it opens up again, if it's a afternoon showing or something. Because I think if you start going Friday evening and Saturday, it's going to be absolutely nuts. But those are also fun times to be there for something like that.
Yeah. So when you go to the first showing, are you going to be in costume?
Don't know. Just because of a lot of something to keep in mind is that with a lot of things like the incident in Colorado, so a lot of theaters are very hesitant about letting you walk around with prop guns.
You leave your gun in your car.
Right. So, it may all be depending on what they allow at the theater, but it's a definite possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure yet.
The thing to do is, if you're interested in something like that, a lot of the folks from the 501st Legion or the Rebel Legion will probably be having events at certain theaters. And I would say look into that and see if that's something you want to participate in.
Yeah. I'm guessing probably not down in Rochester, but...
Minnesota group is pretty big, and they are involved with a lot of stuff, so...
Yeah, we'll see then.
Take a peek.
Yep. All right. Going from one movie to another. There's a couple of movies I saw recently. One of them being The Martian. I don't know if you had seen this one at all. Either of you guys?
Not yet.
I have. And I just want to point out to people, as it's been pointed out on Twitter and other places, the movie is not based on a true story. I need to tell people that it's not. We didn't leave him there. It didn't really happen that
you
way.
shattered my whole day.
Yeah, it's funny because, yeah, of course, the lead character, Mark Watney, is played by Matt Damon. Someone posted online something about, do you know how much we've spent trying to get Matt Damon back from from World War II in Germany, from Mars now?
Mm-hmm.
I think they listed off one other thing. We're like, spending all this money to keep Matt Damon safe.
Yeah, that is. I saw that they were showing that all the places they have to save him from, and it is pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
But definitely enjoyed that movie. I thought it was very well done. There are a lot of little things that they did in that which were pretty interesting. That made you realize what kind of hell he would be going through in that situation.
Right. Of course, this one was directed by Ridley Scott. So as soon as we saw his name up on the screen, and Chad and I went to it together, and Chad's like, aliens are going to show up. Which, of course, they don't. But, of course, we did have a appearance. Well, one of the main characters, actually. Sean Bean was playing Mitch Henderson, who works for NASA. And I had to laugh during the one part where they're having their meeting to talk about their plan. And they called it the Council of Elrond.
Yeah.
So it's like, why is this called the Council of Elrond? And the one guy starts explaining, well, because this, with the One Ring and everything. And another guy's like, well, if this is the Council of Elrond, I want to be Glorfindel. And I was totally expecting Sean Bean to say, then I want to be Boromir. And I hope they have an outtake with him saying that, because I want to see that.
That would be funny.
But it's like everyone was looking at him, expecting it, and nothing. It's like, ugh. Yeah, I gotta agree. Decent movie. They're talking about, maybe Oscar nominations for this one. So
It gotta be possible. I mean, if especially for Matt Damon in doing so much of his role on his own.
Yeah.
Just of him and what he did there, and the potato sequences are hilarious. So
yeah.
Let's put it this way: I have seen Oscar nominations for a lot of really subpar movies that for whatever reason they're picked for the artistic value. To me, this was a quality movie with a great performance and definitely inspiration.
Yeah. So to sum it up, Mike, you should probably go see this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have 2 kids, 1 3 and 5. It's hard to get out, actually.
Yeah.
I'd say bring them with, but that's not going to work for anyone.
No.
Yeah.
Well, if you do get a chance, or
when it comes out on video.
Yep.
Netflix, yeah.
Yep.
That's probably what I'll have to do.
There you go. Yeah, then last week I went and saw Bridge of Spies. This is another Steven Spielberg movie.
Steven.
It looks pretty good. I watched the preview for it.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. You had Tom Hanks playing James Donovan, and let's see, Mark Rylance playing Rudolph Abel, who's the old guy that's actually the spy that's stationed in the U.S. that they're gonna make a swap with over in East Germany. So
like Mike, I've seen the preview, but not having actually seen the movie. But I did find it intriguing. Definitely is something worth looking at when it hits Netflix.
Yeah, I guess that would be kind of my choice. I mean, I did see it in the theater, but a decent movie, but not as good as The Martian. Martian was better paced. Bridge of Spies, there were some slow parts in there, and while it was still intriguing, it was like, I think I was comparing it too much to what I've seen before, where it was like, the pace of the movie. I mean, the acting was decent and such, but
Well, the problem you have is that the previews all show it as a pretty upbeat, ongoing drama type thing, but the problem is you got to build that story.
Yeah. So, decent movie, but go ahead and wait till it comes out on home video. Speaking of home video, I finally got around to seeing the Grand Budapest Hotel. There are so many cameo scenes with all these different actors that it's kind of unbelievable how many people are involved in it. But
yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I did see, you're talking about the list of, the preview, and you see all the names there, and you're like, oh my god.
Exactly. All these, not all of them are big names. Some of them are, so-so, but it's like, you go 5 minutes and, oh, there's someone I recognize. Oh, yeah. I guess overall, I'd say it was a pretty decent movie. Just to give kind of a synopsis, this guy who's kind of in charge of the hotel, he gets a new kind of like understudy to help him out. He's, kind of the bellboy type guy. And they end up going on a trip somewhere and end up getting in some trouble, and it kind of escalates from there. And pretty soon you've got a murder, and he's being accused of it. And
hey, this sounds like when I go to visit Todd.
I don't know. There was no Grand Templars in there, so.
Hey.
At the elevator? That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a decent movie. If you want to check that one out sometime. Some of it's kind of. It's a comedy. So some things are kind of like maybe a little overacted or overpresented. Exaggerated as far as even the special effects that they have. It's kind of like, you can tell that's fake, but it's kind of funny.
I've had that one on my list for a while, just haven't gotten around to seeing it, so we'll keep it on the list.
All right. And then I picked up a DVD at the library the other day, just as a filler for getting me by, and because I originally had gone to the library to get Grand Budapest Hotel and couldn't find it, so I ended up checking out Logan's Run, which I haven't seen in it must be 35 years.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. I would say it reminds me a bit of THX 1138 in that they're kind of trying to escape the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, being made in the 70s, you've got 70s special effects and all that, which makes it a little cheesy, but
hey, back then you got by with what you could.
Yeah. So yeah, after seeing it all this time, it's like decent movie for the time, I think. And I couldn't help but compare it to Lucas's movie, and but
notice the subtle difference between the quality of the special effects, perhaps.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen THX 1138 as well. I actually have that one on DVD, but I should throw that one in again, and Logan's Run is fresh in my mind, kind of compare them. But I guess from movie news, we'll go over to TV news. So, did either of you guys check out Fear the Walking Dead when it came on?
I've seen a couple of the episodes. Was kind of meh. Yeah, I wasn't drawn in.
Okay. Well, I started watching from the start and watched all the way through. And I mean, you get some of those kind of like meh times in The Walking Dead as well. But, right at this point, well, they wrap for the season, of course, because The Walking Dead is on now. But, at this point, you know how the other one, The Walking Dead, when that started out, you were mainly concerned about, of course, the zombies. But as time went on, you're kind of less concerned about the zombies because they were killed so easily. And you had to worry more about the other people that survived, and they were the more of the threat. And I think the Fear the Walking Dead, it kind of goes and maybe starts out where you kind of have a mix of the two. Because the zombies are a real threat, but the military trying to, keep control and keep the virus, confined, or infected people rather. You got that threat as well. And when we last leave them on the last episode, they're planning on going out to this boat and trying to survive out there, thinking maybe they're going to be safe. However, zombies really don't need air, so they can probably walk on the ocean floor and come get you. So we'll see how that works for them.
Yeah. See, my thing is that, these are what we call the slow-moving zombies, the normal walking zombies. But yet, they seem to be able to sneak up on just about anybody. Now,
yeah, they're all quiet until they come up on someone, then it's like,
That's just fine. I mean, these are like super stealthy zombies that you don't seem to notice until it's the last second when there's no way for you to get out of the way. Yeah. And that's, I have a little bit of a challenge with that, but it's, suspension of disbelief, gotta go with the flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess, I don't know, for that one there, with how they portray it, the breakout starting and whatnot, I would have just thought there'd have been a lot more shooting involved, but that's me.
Well, yeah, especially since it takes place in L.A., you'd think that everyone would be shooting everyone.
Just saying. There's a lot of guns out there. I'm just thinking they could have maybe pushed it back a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Do the zombies have gangs or something?
Well, eventually, yes.
Zombie gangs?
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. Yeah, and then you've got Fear the Walking Dead Flight 462, which is a web spin-off of it. And, well, since they're only showing like a minute per week, it's really slow-moving, of course. But, I mean, even with the stuff that they show, it's like they're giving barely any information at all. I think there's only been 2 of them so far.
Well, the plus side, that episode's going to last. I mean, they'd have 60 episodes in, last year.
Yeah, so supposedly what's going to happen is, of course, the people on the plane are infected and someone dies, and then it's just a zombie buffet up there, and who knows, maybe they go and crash in Atlanta.
Oh.
That's just my speculation, but how else is the virus going to spread? It's probably from flight travel, I'm guessing.
Entirely possible. That's the way they portrayed it in World War Z.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, in the Walking Dead synopsis, that everybody's already infected with the virus, and if you just die, you'll come back. So, if it's already everywhere, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Just anywhere someone dies, they're going to come back up and eat you.
Yeah.
So just remember that tonight when you two go to bed.
Yeah. Of course, The Walking Dead started, so I've been up on that. And I don't know if either of you have been watching that, but yes, no, maybe.
I watched the first episode.
Oh my gosh, you got to see the next one. Yeah, it takes a surprising turn somewhere in the middle, I think. Yeah, it goes from bad to worse.
All right, I'll take a look at that.
I mean, as far as the conditions of, not the show itself, I mean, but yeah, the conditions that they've got to deal with. It's just, oh my gosh.
And I'm going to guess from Mike's silence that Mike is not big into watching The Walking Dead.
Oh, I have not started watching it, no.
Oh my gosh.
I work nights, so I don't get to watch a lot of shows at night. Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Of course, we've got a bunch of the shows that started up for the fall season. So you got Doctor Who, The Flash, Arrow, Gotham. All good shows there. X-Files is coming pretty soon.
Yep, that's only 6 episodes, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't think that hits until, what, January?
Yeah. Yep, that's why I understand.
So if you haven't seen... How many seasons of the X-Files were there?
Is there 7 season? I don't recall.
Yeah, I can't remember either. So if you haven't seen all 7 seasons or whatever they have, you better binge watch all those to get ready for the new series. Something that I'll have to do myself.
Yeah, I think I'll just watch the new ones and let it go at that.
Yeah, the other new show that came on that we've talked about before, the Muppets. And if you didn't see the last one, you're really missing out.
Has it gotten? I think it has gotten better as it's progressed.
Oh yeah. The last episode, it was like, it had me rolling.
Yeah, the croaky scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll just say that
because I have the kid at home. The Walking Dead's kind of tough for me to watch with the 3 and 5-year-old.
Yeah.
But Muppets are safe?
Get scared. Yeah, they'd be up the whole night. But yeah, the Muppets I can.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of an adult show, but
yeah.
The kids wouldn't understand the stuff there, so you got that going for you.
True, yeah.
But when they break out into karaoke, then everyone's safe.
Yeah, it is. The premise is like Miss Piggy's got her own show, like Tonight Show, like Jay Leno.
Ah.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's gotten better as it went. First episode was a little slow, but
yeah.
Yeah, I started running into the problem that all these good episodes all overlap on similar nights, in which case I can't record everything.
A lot of good shows out there right now.
Yeah, that's why I've got DirecTV, and I can record multiple shows in the same time. So, but yeah, I mean, we're gonna run into that problem with. I'll already run into that problem on Monday nights because I record Big Bang Theory, but I also watch Gotham, and now Supergirl is gonna be on Monday nights as well. So that's coming up in 2 days, actually.
Yep.
That's right after Big Bang, isn't it?
I think so. It's going to start like 7:30 or.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
So then Tuesday nights you got The Flash and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And
both good shows.
And The Muppets.
The Muppets.
Is that Tuesday nights?
I thought.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Wednesdays you've got Arrow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who's actually going by Green Arrow now.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Thursday nights you got, well, go back to Wednesdays. I also catch South Park. But that's on later. So
how many seasons is that now?
Oh my gosh.
Still going strong.
Yeah, it's got to be
19?
something like that.
Yeah, this was in the 90s when it first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think Sean was born yet when it started. So.
Okay, so for one tonight, did either of you watch The Goldbergs?
Yes.
Nope.
Very good show.
Todd, you need to watch The Goldbergs. You need to
Yes.
add that to your list.
You like Big
Goldbergs.
Bang, you like the Goldbergs, yes.
I had not actually watched it until I caught a couple reruns over the summer. And the basic premise is the guy who wrote this show is, I think, basing it off his life in the 80s. And so, like, one episode was actually based off when Ferris Bueller came out.
Yeah, it was. It's very nostalgic for you if you watch it. You'll be like, one episode was like Rubik's cubes. They're talking about all these different things in the 90s and 80s. Rubik's cube, and when they come, it'll just be very nostalgic.
The most recent episode, the elder brother was conned into believing that if he dressed like Boy George and could pull off the look, he could get his girl back.
It's funny.
Okay.
So yeah, that's one that I do recommend if folks haven't seen that one, is The Goldbergs.
Also do I, yes. 2 thumbs up.
Yep.
So if you've seen reruns already, how many seasons are there of it?
This is
it
the second season.
Second season, okay.
Oh yeah, I think.
So
Second or third. At the most, it'd be third. I have to actually go and figure that out.
Maybe it's third. Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I'm just thinking Netflix again. I might have to check that.
You have to see if it's on there or not.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right. Of course, we already talked about it, but Ash vs. the Evil Dead, that starts next Saturday, a week from today. So that following
they can
day.
pull that off as a show. That'd be fun if they could.
Yeah, supposedly, of course it's got Bruce Campbell in it. But Sam Raimi actually, I think he wrote and directed the first episode. So you got those two working together again. There's a third guy in there too that was part of the original Evil Dead, and he's working on it as well. Cool. So it's like you got the 3 big people that worked on that movie working on the TV show too.
Excellent.
All right.
Hopefully that leads to good things for him.
Yep. From what I hear, well, Kevin Smith had seen the pilot already. He's like, it's really good. So I'm expecting good things. Oh, whoops. Which part didn't you hear?
You said Kevin Smith and then cut out after that.
He had seen the pilot and said it was really good. So
cool.
I'm going to trust Kevin. All right, let's do the fan film of the month.
Yay!
Yay!
And I did watch it.
You sound so
I
enthused.
did watch it too.
And hopefully you'll have that link for everybody, because that was actually a pretty good fan film. I got to admit, that one was pretty ingenious.
Supposedly this one was shown during the last Star Wars celebration, was it?
I didn't get over there for the fan film portion of it because the line was incredible. So it's entirely possible.
Yeah, so I mean the premise of it is a kid in the 70s playing with his new Star Wars toys and filming it as he's doing it and having a blast. And yeah, it's more runs on the nostalgic factor.
Well, yeah. What I find entertaining is the fact that who the little kid is supposed to be.
Yes, there's that too, which we won't give away that. But
won't give it away. You got to watch. Just have to pay attention when his name is called, and then check the mailbox.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'll have to watch that again. I missed that.
Oh.
It was pretty good though. I just watching him play with the Star Wars characters outside is what I did that when I was in 79, 78 those years. It's nostalgic for me too. I just brought back memories.
See, a lot of the times I'd play with the things indoors just so I wouldn't lose guns and accessories.
Guns. Yeah, those little guns. Yeah,
there's always a danger.
Lost a lot of those.
Every once in a while, though, especially after Empire Strikes Back, it was like, we've got mounds of snow. The yard is now Hoth. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I did that. sandbox for Return of the Jedi. Dug a big hole for that. And like put a little ramp from the jump onto that big pit in the sandbox.
What I liked, if you notice the part where they had the Millennium Falcon flying, he had the big rotary drum that was black with like the little white dots for the stars. So he had it spinning, so it looked like it was flying through space.
Right.
Which was creative and ingenious if you consider what it was portraying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of another instance where I had taken toys outside, and I recall there was a Tusken Raider that somehow got left behind when I brought everything in. And I think it was the same afternoon my older brother mowed the lawn.
Oh no. He didn't make it, huh?
Well, you know what? This is the weirdest thing. The guy came apart in pieces, but it was all like right at the joints. So it was like, okay, he's missing an arm and a leg, but I was able to just snap him right back in. I mean, the guy wasn't cut up or anything. I'm like, how is this possible?
That's pretty miraculous.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened. That still baffles me to this day. All right. Going from the fan film of the month. By the way, that one is called Summer 78. So, yeah, we'll throw the link up there for that one. The other thing that we usually do at this time is the Hot Word of the Month contest. However, after 2 or 3 times in a row of not having anyone enter...
Well, I would have entered, but I want to give someone else a chance.
I was just going to say, because Mike couldn't enter anymore.
Well, I would have still entered.
Sorry, Mike.
But...
Yeah, I think we'll put the contest to bed for now. Maybe it'll rise from the dead in future episodes, but as for now, we'll
just want to point this out, Billy, if you would have actually tried to enter more often, we wouldn't have had to kill it. This is your fault, Billy, and you should be ashamed.
That's right. Just because you lost one time, because you were too slow on the draw, you gave up. You let us all down. So we'll see. At some point, maybe we get the numbers up a little on our hits out there for the podcast. Maybe we'll bring it back. But all right, and maybe we'll do a commercial.
From Kenner's Star Wars collection, each sold separately. Large-sized Darth Vader with his lightsaber. Princess Leia, champion of the rebel cause. With her defender, Luke Skywalker. You can swing him into action on his grappling hook. And load Chewbacca's laser crossbow. Star Wars large-size action figures. Up to 15 inches tall. And ready for action. Large-size Darth Vader, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, each sold separately from Kenner.
And we're back. Either of you guys have big plans for Halloween, or Mike?
I'm
You've
guessing
got kids.
Mike probably has bigger plans than I do.
Yeah, I got trick or treating. They're gonna get dressed up. My oldest son wants to be Harry Potter. My 3-year-old, he doesn't talk much yet. He says a lot, but he doesn't really have. So we just dress him up as a dog. But my oldest son, he wants to be Harry Potter real bad, so we got him a Harry Potter outfit.
Cool. But Dad, what are you going to go as?
He wants me to go as Hagrid. So we'll see.
Sweet!
I'll see if I can find a beard and whatnot.
You haven't been growing one all this time?
Yeah.
I would think you'd be able to buy one of those little Halloween stores that pop up would have something that would work for that.
Yeah. I'm sure I could find something.
That would actually be pretty hilarious. I like that one. That's a good idea.
One year he went as Scooby-Doo and I went as Shaggy. That was kind of...
I can actually see that.
Yeah. What are you going as, Todd? Do you going to do anything?
It kind of depends on where we're actually at. If we're going to be home, if we're going to be... Might be over at Chris and Tina's place. Not quite sure yet, but I thought, I mean, I've been using the Jedi, using the Jedi costume so much that I'm like, maybe we'll leave that one alone this year. But I did get a Starfleet shirt, red shirt, so I might be a dead red shirt guy. Get some, get some fake scars on me, like on my head, and go pale white and go out and this is what happens to red shirts.
Nice.
Yeah. So what about you, Travis?
Well, I usually don't do much on Halloween itself, but our office has, for Halloween, we let the employees bring their kids in to trick-or-treat through the office, but we also do it where the kids from the children's home here in town, we bring them in during the day and let them trick-or-treat through the office. Now, usually I do safe and friendly costumes, but for some reason this year I have the urge to do Pennywise the Clown. And I'm going to get some balloons, and I'm just going to stand in different corners and not say anything. So I'll let you know how that goes.
All right. It'd be even more creepy than you actually are.
Just telling you. This is on the level of Todd creepy here.
No, I think you've got your brand of creepy. I think it overtakes my creepy.
Well, I will tell you this. The best one I ever had was a few years ago. And I did the Burger King. So if you remember, they had the commercial with the Burger King, that big creepy. Oh, yeah. And here's the best part. So I put that on. The adults would scream and run. The little kids thought I had French fries would all come to me.
Awesome.
It was great. I mean, literally, I had people would come around the corner, take a look, and just not say a word, just turn around and go.
Did you chase them down?
No, because then they started screaming.
Well, that's the fun part.
I did do it in our office building where the elevator is. There's security doors on each side of it, and big glass doors. And so I would just sit there in corner of the glass and just stare at people who were in there waiting for the elevator. That was comedy gold. It really was.
Awesome.
Videotape that, Travis. Put on YouTube.
No video evidence. Well, we did take it. My friend Cindy, who works with me, she did take me out for lunch through the Burger King drive-thru while I was wearing my costume. So they didn't even notice, but the people around us did, and they thought it was great.
I was gonna say, you didn't get a free meal out of it.
No.
Or even free fries. A discount on your drinks.
I wasn't willing to actually go inside at the time, but I figured through the drive-thru should have been good enough.
All right then. I guess we'll call this one. Call it.
We're calling it.
Call it. We're
calling it, Todd.
We're calling it.
Have we put together a great episode?
Yep.
I think so.
Me.
Yeah.
Yes, Mike. Thanks for coming to this, and you know what? We should have more guests like this.
I think you should. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah. I mean, last month we had Maureen on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who filmed her scenes. But,
your other wife?
Yeah. You caught that, huh?
Yes, that was disturbing yet funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grade school. But yeah, maybe at some point you'd like to join us again, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
You got the equipment. You got TeamSpeak.
I got it downloaded now,
Yeah, you're all set.
To go.
So.
Just wait for another Word of the Month come resurrected, and I'll see if I can...
Or we could just sucker you into it, just telling you you're going to do it. But, that's just me.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, that's Flamecast for this month. So I'm Todd Platz.
And this is Travis Buckmeyer.
Mike Scheff.
And that's a wrap.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.
Who could it be now?
So he's going to edit this off?
Yeah, that's what he says.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he will because we're talking now.
Well, we just got to talk smack about him so we make sure he edits it out.
Oh, okay. I heard a dog barking back there.
Tada Rooney. Tada Lapa Ding Dong.